Welcome to Inside the Trailer, where we give you sports coverage, fantasy football talk, parlays, games, and more. My name is Drew, and this is Connor. Episode 1, how are we feeling here?
Hey, feeling exciting. This is new, fresh start. So I'm excited for this. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we're no experts, but I'd say that we know a lot about fantasy football and just like sports stuff in general. So, it's new territory for us. We're going to see if you guys like it. We got a lot in store for you guys. So, why don't we just get straight into it? I don't want to have this hat on anymore either. These are like for kids, so.
Barely for my head.
Yeah, we don't know how to take this, but let's start off with NBA. Actually, NBA season impressions. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, the NBA, it's been a good start so far. A lot of good teams in the West. The East, not so much. The only two really good teams in the East that have started off is the Cavs, the undefeated Cavs, and of course the reigning defending champs, the Celtics. But the Cavs though, starting off with a undefeated record. How are we feeling about that? It's very.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely interesting because 13-0 right now. At the moment, it's Wednesday night right now, or it's Wednesday morning. It's like 1 a.m. right now. But they're 13-0. I know. I don't think it's a Mickey Mouse run. Currently, they're doing pretty well.
They have been really well. They've been proving it. Donovan Mitchell's been stepping up. He's looking like a solid MVP candidate so far. Mm-hmm. Darius Garland, Jared Allen. They've got the cast around them, to make a really good playoff run. Which I think has translated to early success so far. So that's something to monitor if that's going to continue out through the season. I'm going to assume they don't go 82-0. But
yeah.
Are they a team that can compete with the Celtics going forward in the East for the number 1 spot?
I think so. It just feels like it's only them two right now that are. It is only them two leading the East right now. It seems like the rest of the conference doesn't really compare. No. It's early on, and most of the good teams that I would see usually at the top, such as the Sixers and the Bucks, and honestly, what's another team that's
the Knicks? The Knicks, they've made some really big offseason moves. They were looking to be pretty promising. Slow start for them so far, but again, it's early. They're still developing who they are. They just got Cat, so getting him into his role on that team. Right. As he's been in Minnesota for so long, and he's so used to his role. So I think just the Knicks need to identify who they are, get into that type of role, and I think they'll get it clicking, although it's been slow. Yeah. But teams like the Bucks and the 76ers are terrible starts. 76ers I can understand. They've been missing Embiid. Yeah. Embiid just came back. He was hurt for a couple games, and then they got suspended for 3 more games for shoving the reporter.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Made it out to seem like it was way worse than it actually was.
The reporter probably did deserve it. Real talk.
Yeah, all right. We won't get into that.
Yeah, but anywho. So the 76ers, slow start there, but Tyrese Maxey's still been playing really well. Paul George was out for a couple games, but I think once they start getting that big 3 lineup going, I think they're going to be really good. I think they'll still obviously be competing in the East. I think, towards the top. Maybe not competing with the Cavs and the Celtics right now, but you never know. You never know once they get that clicking how that's going to go.
Yeah. But, to get back to your point about the Cavs being at the top and can they compete with the Celtics, I think they definitely can. I think the Celtics are probably, despite their 3 losses, still probably the better team, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
As I look at some of the recent games that the Cavs won, the Sixers was one of them. Obviously, that there's not much to say there right now.
Right.
The Bulls, it's that's an okay win. The Nets, that's an okay win again. Yeah. The Warriors, on the other hand,
that's a really solid win.
They put up 136 on them.
That's a really good win for them.
That's a lot. So I don't know what to think about it. Good team right now. Jared Allen is playing pretty good as well, with averaging 10.7 rebounds a game, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Expected. He's kind of, I wouldn't call him elite, but he's kind of in that right below tier.
Yeah, no.
Team's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Celtics, I think they're going to continue to do their thing. Yep. 10-3 start.
Yep.
Still good, you know what I mean? But obviously this team has wicked high expectations, so some people might, say their things, but I think the team's still really good. They lost to the Hawks the other night, but Jaylen Brown has still had a really solid game. It was still a really tight game, so there's not a lot of there's a lot to be excited for Celtics fans.
I agree.
Do you think they're going to go back to back?
I hope so. Like, I mean, we're Celtics fans, by the way. Let's get that out of the way. It's episode 1. We probably won't talk about that too much, but I mean, we hope so.
Keep it as unbiased as possible.
Yes, exactly. But I would say they have a pretty good chance too.
Yeah.
The team is the exact same.
Exactly.
Like, to a point. I think they lost O'Shea Brissett, I think it was. I'm gonna miss him. I mean, I miss Brissy TV, but
I know Brissy TV. I miss the vibes.
Exactly.
Vibes from it,
yeah, but overall, it's the same
it's
team.
the same core.
Tatum is playing even better than I would say that he was playing last year.
Absolutely.
Pritchard is playing. I mean, Pritchard's been the same person, but like
Pritchard's involved too. Like he's been crazy. He's averaging like almost 20 points a game. He's been lighting it up. He's been incredible. The guards, it's incredible with the guards. Pritchard, Holiday, White, like that's like it's an elite tandem right there.
It's working well, that's for sure.
Elite defense, elite offense.
Yep.
Like you can't complain with that group of people, and especially Pritchard. Is great to see him stepping up into a bigger scoring role, more heavy on the offense. So I'm excited for that.
Yep.
I personally do think they're going to go back to back.
Yeah.
Despite the Cavs, undefeated streak, despite anyone in the West, the Warriors have been playing solid. That's another team that people have been on the rise in the on the West. I still think the Celtics are going to steamway their roll to the finals.
Yeah.
This Celtics team is going to win 60 games again. They're going to go back to the finals, whoever it might be. They're going to blow them out in 5 or 6. I don't care.
Again,
unbiased take. I think the Celtics are going to easily win the NBA Finals again.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that, but I think there's a lot of good teams that can give them
compete.
You're going to compete with the Celtics and give them some tough battles. Again, going back to the Knicks, I think the Knicks are going to be people that are a team that's going to give them a hard challenge in the playoffs. But again, I think the Celtics are going to make their way through there.
Just to name a few teams, we got the Thunder, we got the Warriors, we got the Suns. These are really good teams in the West that could definitely compete. The Nuggets again, of course. Funny enough, the Mavericks are 5-6 right now, which is a little bit weird to see. But it's a little bit of a different team. Clay's playing pretty good on that team. But overall, there's some good teams that could compete in the West. Not so much in the East, but it's early on in the season.
I think there's only 3 or 4 teams as of today that have a winning record in the East, and that's the Cavs, the Celtics, the Magic, and then there might be a couple 500 teams.
It's actually just that.
I was gonna say because I know the Magic are barely even over 500. They're like 7-6 right now. But I don't know. The East is
bad.
It's bad at the moment, but I think it's not gonna be like that all season.
Yeah.
I think teams like the 76ers, the Knicks, the Bucks, they're gonna turn it around. Giannis is an MVP candidate. Embiid, when healthy, is an absolute monster. He can be an MVP candidate if he plays enough games, but we don't know about that one. But yeah, there's a lot of competition within the East once all those teams just get it clicking. But speaking of MVPs like Giannis, Embiid, how do we feel about the MVP ladder so far this season?
So I'm looking at this graphic. It's from the NBA site right now, and they are ranking the current MVP ladder, right?
Yeah.
They got Anthony Davis at the 1. They got Tatum at the 2, which I agree with personally. I also agree with Anthony Davis at the 1.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic at the 3. That's not new for him. Shai at 4 makes sense. They got Donovan Mitchell at 5. And then they go ahead and talk about how the next 5 are Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Giannis, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
These are players I expect to see in the top 10.
Absolutely.
There's nothing really sticking out. I mean, I would pretty much agree. I don't know. To play devil's advocate, I don't really know about Anthony Davis being 1 right now. I would bump Tatum, Jokic, and Shai above him, to be completely honest. What do you think about that?
No, I agree with that. I mean, again, Anthony Davis has been dominant this year, but in terms of MVP, is he the most valuable in terms of the player? Like, they still have LeBron. LeBron's kind of aging, but the Lakers have also been kind of all right, they're 5-5, 5-6 right now.
Yeah,
they're not at the top of the West right now. And again, in my unbiased take, I believe Jason Tatum right now is the front runner for MVP. Jason Tatum is averaging close to, if not 30 points a game. He's on one of the best. He's on the best team in the NBA, in terms of talent, and he's leading that team 30 points a game, to a 10-3 record as of right now. Still competing at the top of the East, looking to go back to back. I believe if Tatum plays, how he is for the rest of the season, like clear cut MVP right there. But guys like Shea, Shea can turn it up at any night. He can drop 30 on any night. I think Shea is definitely someone that could win the MVP this season. Luka, once I think Luka gets that clicking, he'll be at the top. Jokic, obviously he's going to be there. Anthony Davis, I love Anthony Davis. I just don't see him consistently playing to that level, especially because he's injury prone. So who knows, how many games he might miss this season if something were to happen. Hopefully not. But I don't know. I don't see him consistently being at the top of the MVP ladder. I could see him being in the top 10, skimming the top 5, but I don't see him being there for the rest of the season. I think at the end of the season, it's probably going to be like Tatum, Shea, Luka, Jokic in that top. But as of today, again, if Tatum's going to be averaging the points, the assists, he's leading the NBA in, I believe, points per game. He's leading the NBA, I think.
It's insane.
I was just looking at a statistic before this on Twitter.
He's second in points per game.
Yeah, second in points per game. He's at the top. He leads the team in almost all statistics, in whether rebounds, assists, scoring. He's
on the best team, by the way. It's interesting.
On the best team in the league, and he's creating these numbers. It's not like he's averaging 20 points a game. You know what I mean? Because everyone's splitting the rock because it's a really good team. Like, no, he's the guy, one of the best team in the league, with great players around him. But I think that's what makes him the most valuable player in the league.
Agreed. And I don't think the stats are better than necessarily someone like Jokic, who is putting up 28.8 points per game, 13.5 rebounds, and 11 assists per game.
Yeah.
Triple-double average. Again, nothing new.
Yeah.
But those stats are better than Tatum's 30 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 4.8 assists per game. But it's back to the point that you were saying before, is that he is on the best team. His teammates are also putting up insane numbers, yet he is competing for MVP. And I think that, that doesn't even include the leadership ability, just I don't know, just the pure talent, man. It's
incredible. It's absolutely
I think
incredible.
That's why he deserves this conversation for MVP, for sure.
Absolutely. But again, the season just started, so we've still got a long way to go. But I guess we'll see how that goes. But I want to switch over to NFL real quick. Right.
We were talking a little bit how the East had bad teams for the NBA, but now we transition into the NFL, and it just seems like everybody's bad in the NFL. Not everybody, but
yeah, it's bad at the bottom right now. It's getting really bad. Race for top number 1 overall pick. It's getting tight. It's gonna be tight for the rest of the season. There's some pretty bad teams. I believe there's 10 teams that only have 2 wins as of right now. 2 or 3 wins, I should say.
Something like that. Yeah, it's insane.
It's terrible, man. A lot of really bad teams this year. Not to say that there isn't any good teams, but there's a lot of really bad teams this year. Unfortunately, the Patriots have not been great. Drake May is looking promising, though, so that's something to be exciting for. The Jets have been bad. The Panthers have been bad.
Yep.
The Raiders have been bad.
The Titans, the Jags.
Titans have been bad.
The Browns.
The Browns. A lot of bad teams this year. But again, like we were saying, it gets down to the number 1 overall pick. With all these bad teams, who do you think is going to be the worst of the worst and ends up with the number 1 overall pick?
It's so hard. Usually we know by now. We're going into week 11, and I feel like it could be a handful of teams.
It could be so many.
If I had to guess,
the Giants are another
team.
The
Giants are kind of right there.
That's another team I didn't mention.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that, and that's kind of the front runner I have at this very moment, is because they're 2-8. So terrible record. They haven't even got their bye yet.
Yeah. It's only going to keep getting worse.
It's only going to keep getting worse. They desperately need a quarterback, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, Daniel Jones just isn't the guy.
He's not that guy.
I think Daniel Jones is not... Daniel Jones isn't incredible, but I also don't think Daniel Jones is an incredible situation.
Yep.
I think if you put him in better situations with better talent, I think he can show his skills better.
Yeah.
He's really good with running the ball. He can make plays like that. I think, again, like, you put him in a good situation, he can be that guy.
Yep.
I think going forward for the Giants and what they need, I think it's time to move on from Daniel Jones. I think giving him that contract was a terrible idea.
Yeah, for sure.
You gave him the contract. You didn't give Saquon the contract, though. Like, I don't...
What were we doing? Like,
I don't understand what the Giants were doing with that one. I mean, the Giants are notoriously a poverty franchise. I think if you remember, like, the boat picture back in, like, 2015, 2016 with all the Giants players, like Odell... And they were all like sitting there. I think ever since then, I mean, I see jokes about this all the time. I think ever since then, that franchise has gone downward spiral. It's terrible.
It's not nice.
But I think I agree with you. I think the Giants definitely a team that could finish worst in the league.
Yep.
I think the Raiders are, could be right there.
Yep.
The Jags, I think the Jags have a lot of talent within that team where they win a couple more games this year.
Yeah, I
right
agree.
now they're last in the league. I just don't see them finishing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Titans, I think they'll probably pull out a couple more wins, 2 or 3, but I don't see them necessarily finishing last.
Yeah.
Panthers are another team that they've been notoriously really bad.
Yeah. I actually think that they pull out a few more wins. I
think they could too.
Yeah.
Low key, don't be surprised coming up when they play the Chiefs.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know.
That's another thing. We're gonna get into Chiefs stuff pretty soon.
We'll go back into the Chiefs, but they think
I don't know. I don't know about that take, but they could definitely pull out a few more wins. And
I don't know.
There's a few teams that I think could pull out a few more wins. I think the Pats are included in that for sure.
Yeah.
I think the just looking at it right now, the Saints are also 3-7. I think they pull out a few more wins.
They're another terrible team, but yeah, they could pull out more wins. Carr was missing a couple games.
Yep.
Olave is going to be out for a little bit. Second concussion. That's been a huge hit on them. The offense just couldn't get anything going.
Yep.
Spencer Rattler. I mean, you kind of knew what was going to happen. You didn't expect too much from him.
Yep.
You got exactly what you were expecting. But I don't know. I think, I agree. I think that Saints team does have some talent. Like, Alvin Kamara could, go for 100 yards.
He could win you any game.
He could win you any game, realistically.
Yep.
Just give him the ball, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The defense is solid. But, I don't know. I don't necessarily see them finishing last. I think my prediction on the team that's going to finish in last, I think... Yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants.
You're also going to go with the Giants here?
I'm going to go with the Giants. It's going to be tough. I think it's going to come down to Giants, Raiders. But it's also something interesting to talk about is the draft prospects.
Yes.
Because now when you have guys like Shedeur, and you've got guys like Travis Hunter, like Cam Ward's a really good one, but I think Prime said Shedeur and Travis they're gonna pick the teams they want to go to.
Yep.
Like I don't care. They're like I don't care who you are. Like we're gonna pick who we want, and if you draft us, we're not playing. You're gonna have to trade us to who we want. Something with the Raiders I think is extremely interesting is Shedeur's been posting after every Raiders loss that he's grateful for God, and they've been putting the timestamps up on every time the Raiders lose. Shedeur tweets that. So is that a coincidence by chance?
That's got to be a coincidence in my opinion.
Do you think that he wants to go to Vegas? I think Vegas is definitely a market that he could absolutely go to and shine in. The Raiders situation isn't incredible, but I think there's some solid pieces there. Jacoby Myers. I think Antonio Pierce is a solid coach that Shedeur would potentially want to play for.
Right,
yeah. The Raiders have a lot to figure out, but I believe that taking Shedeur here with that pick would be very beneficial for that franchise.
Yeah.
I think Shedeur can be an incredible athlete. Despite the nepotism, I think he's still incredible.
Agreed.
Travis Hunter, though. Travis Hunter is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where Travis would want to go. I feel like Travis might want to go to a big market as well.
I agree.
So say the Giants get the first overall
I can see
pick.
The Giants doing it.
I think they pull
I
the
don't
trigger
think they
there.
would. I don't think
you don't
they
think
would
they
do
would?
that.
Who do you think they'd go for?
I think they need a quarterback here. I think the Daniel Jones situation is too much to, pass up a first-round pick opportunity and be like, let's go another year with Daniel Jones. I don't see them doing that, especially if, let's say, the Giants were to target Travis Hunter. I could only see him playing cornerback in the situation now with Malik Neighbors, who was looking, I'd say, pretty good. First half of the season was exceptional. He's definitely fallen off a little bit, come back to the ground a little bit.
He did have that concussion, so he was
exactly. Weeks, but still, he looks exceptional.
Those first couple of weeks were insane, though.
I agree, and I don't. But this is why I don't see them grabbing another wide receiver person. Yeah. If they grabbed him for cornerback, sure. Does a cornerback go first overall or second overall? Yeah, I don't know.
In modern NFL, I don't know. But then again, though, it's just Travis is such a an important piece, like to that Buffalo offense or Colorado offense. I think he's an incredible talent.
Yep.
They could do it. Yeah. I think I doubt in modern NFL they would have him play both sides of the ball though.
Yeah.
I can't see them being a receiver and a corner.
Nope.
I just can't. Too much. I can't imagine what that payout would be once he goes for another contract. Like,
do you get 2 contracts?
Do you get do you get one massive one? I would assume it's one massive contract.
Right.
But that would change the market though. But that's a whole nother topic of discussion.
Probably won't happen.
I think he ends up picking one position. I wonder if he goes down to his play style, what he prefers, or if he goes for the money. Because if you're going for the money, you're going receiver. Like you have to pick receiver.
Absolutely.
Because this receiver market has been going up over the past couple of years. Like look at contracts. Just this offseason, CD, Jamar. Chase, Jamar Chase. I'm sorry, Jefferson.
I know you mean. Yeah,
Jamar Chase,
the other really good wide receiver.
Justin Jefferson. Like they all got huge contracts. Like if Hunter, it pans out in the NFL, he can get a massive contract.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder what they'll do there. But I agree with you. I think the Giants do need to really focus in on the quarterback position. So I wonder if Shedeur would want to go there. I wonder if they go Cam Ward.
Maybe.
Carson Beck was a name earlier.
It's kind of fallen off a little bit.
He has not been playing good this season.
Yeah.
He's had a really bad season. Garrett Ness, you're going to have to... I'm sorry for pronouncing his name. Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier.
Okay.
Of the LSU Tigers. Go Tigers.
Okay.
He's another quarterback that I could see teams possibly going for. I don't know about first round necessarily, maybe second round, but again, we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there in this upcoming draft, but I think Shedeur, Cam Ward, especially Shedeur, I think is going to be the first one to go.
Yeah, he's premier for sure.
I don't know. He's going to be the one to go. But I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the NFL season pans out. Again, we're a little over halfway through. Plenty of time. Teams could turn it up. Teams could fall off. There's, I don't know.
We'll definitely come back to that.
There's still plenty of football to see, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll kind of continue to monitor that bottom of the barrel.
I'm excited towards the end of the season when we can actually do, when all these teams get settled into their actual rankings and their places, to actually do a mock draft, just me and you, and just, see how close we get. Because I think we could get pretty close. I don't know. It's just a guess, but
see how kind of what teams need towards the end of the offseason.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? See what college stars are starting to break out more.
Yep.
And fit into that role. And again, monitor the Travis and the Shedeur situation.
For sure.
Do they speak out more on possible places they want to
we'll see.
Play? I don't know. There's still plenty of time until then, but switching from bad to the good.
Right.
Let's talk about the current playoff bracket.
Yeah,
that's getting interesting now because, again, we're a little over halfway through the season. Playoff teams are kind of starting to set in. We're kind of getting a good idea who's going to be there.
Right.
So what do you think as of right now?
Well, let's look at it. I mean, the NFL posted this photo of the playoff picture as is after week 10.
Yep.
The 1 seeds for the AFC and the NFC are the Chiefs and the Lions.
Yep.
Not surprised about both, to be completely honest.
Nope.
Then we'll go into it because you guys are seeing the graphic on screen right now. We got 7 seed Broncos, 2 seed Bills. We got 6 seed Chargers. What helmet is that?
3 seed Steelers.
The Steelers. That's a weird helmet.
Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't put the logo. It's just a black helmet, but okay.
Anyway, 5 seed Ravens, 4th seed Texans, and then on the other side it's the Packers, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Vikings, and the Cardinals. So right away, there's a few things that pop out to me, right? The Steelers being one of them, the 3 seed. I don't think the Steelers go far in the playoffs. I don't actually think they stay in the 3 seed. Let's try to find some other teams. I think the Ravens are much better than they actually are as a seed right now.
Absolutely.
Same with the Texans, but I mean, there's not too much room to grow for both these teams. They might move up a seed or maybe 2.
Yeah.
The Bills are right where they need to be. The Broncos, I don't know how to feel about that. I'll pass that to you because I don't know. I don't really know.
I think the Broncos are a team that is like a fringe playoff contender. Bo Nix has been, he's been solid so far. Not anything incredible, but he's been doing the job. He's been making some plays. He's been getting them some wins. I mean, they're the 7th seed as of right now in the AFC. Do they stay in the 7th seed spot? I don't know. I don't know because they have again, like the thing with Bo Nix is he's been solid, but he's also a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Like how many times do rookie quarterbacks, lead their teams to the playoffs?
Sometimes
on a team, especially on a team that's just kind of,
Yeah.
They're just kind of,
They don't got too much wide receiver talent. Defensive talent is there.
That
for
defense
sure.
is solid.
It's actually a solid defense.
The defense has a lot of solid pieces that have been keeping them into games.
But it comes down to like, does Bo Nix have the experience? I know he's 26. I think he is.
Somewhere
he's on the older end.
He's on the older end.
He does have more experience than other rookies, but does he have that actual NFL experience to lead this team far in playoffs? Probably not.
I don't think in year one. I think he's going to make a lot of mistakes. He's going to do a lot of great things. I think he's going to make a lot of mistakes, which is fine. It's a rookie quarterback. They're going to do that. He's learning. I think, the Broncos, it's not just on him though. I won't throw it all on him. I think the Broncos need to, build that team a little more.
For sure.
To be in that playoff spot, but I don't see them necessarily finishing in the playoffs. I don't think they make it.
Yeah, they might just fall out or just make it in, but they're definitely fringe for sure.
They're not definitely really fringe. Sure. They're definitely fringe, but again, I don't think they're going to make it. I think there's teams that are on the fringe. The Colts are in the 8th spot. The Bengals are the 9th. The Dolphins are the 10th. The Jets.
I don't know about
the Jets. But, and I don't know necessarily about the Colts either. I'm not too keen on them making the playoffs. No.
Quarterback situation is a mess.
They don't know what they're doing with the quarterback situation.
It's so weird.
AR was starting, and then they went to Flacco, and then they said, okay, well, Flacco's going to be the starter the rest of the year. And then as of yesterday or 2 days ago, they said, okay, well, AR is actually going to be the starter going forward, which is...
It's a confusing situation, and I don't really know how to...
He's a 22-year-old quarterback.
You
gotta... I understand, he had the injuries or whatever, and I understand he makes the mistakes, but again, he's like... This is basically his rookie year. He only played like 3 or 4 games last season, and then he, had the major injury. He's coming back. He needs to learn. He needs to make those mistakes in order to grow as a player, because he's got a lot of talent. He's super athletic. Like, he's going to be able to make incredible plays for this team. He can lead them to wins. Just, you got to put, again... This is like for any team, though. You just got to put the right talent around him and let him develop. Especially the coaching. It's not good coaching decisions so far. Switching up your quarterbacks like that, that's going to be detrimental to his confidence. Thankfully, you put him back in, and that was the right decision. Let him play out the season. Don't bench him and ruin his confidence. You got to let him make these mistakes because he's going to learn, and you got to give him that confidence to go lead the team and be a leader.
I think you're saying what kind of everybody thinks right now, to be completely fair, completely honest with you. But yeah, I mean, let's go real quick into the NFC picture a little bit. I'll let you tell me what you think of the teams. I know the Commanders are probably better than that their actual seed is. The Eagles are kind of probably in place. The Packers are the Falcons at 3, the Vikings at 5, and the Cardinals at 4. I mean, anything else stick out to you?
I think the NFC is definitely anyone's game. I think, Eagles and Lions are going to be competing for that top spot. I think everything else, though, is kind of, it could change. I don't think it's going to stay the way it is as of right now. Surprisingly, because that division's kind of been bad.
Yeah.
But, the Cardinals being top of the division, I don't know. I don't
think that stays.
I don't think that stays either. I like the Cardinals. I think they have a lot of talent on that team. Kyler's really good. MHJ in his rookie year, he's been solid so far.
Solid.
I just don't know if that translates to making the playoffs. I think the 49ers are getting healthy. The 49ers are going to figure it out. They're, as of right now, in the hunt. They're not even a playoff spot. I think they could go and win that division. That whole division hasn't had a good start. 49ers, the Rams, Seahawks, they're all talented teams that could make the playoffs. Do we see teams like the Commanders, continuing to assess the rest of the season?
Hopefully.
I think they could.
Team.
I think, I think Jalen's been great so far. Jaden, I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. I think Jaden's been incredible so far this season. He's going to be the Rookie of the Year as of right now. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Probably.
But does that team continue the success? I hope so. I think they're building a great culture in Washington right now. I think they're finally, getting over the past. I think they're moving on. I think Jaden's building a great culture there. People want to come play for him in that team. I just don't know if necessarily they're not going to win the division. I think not the Packers. I'm sorry. I think the Eagles are definitely just going to win that division.
Yeah.
But Washington could be right there making the run. Packers, I think, are doing the same thing. They're going to be there. But it's the wild card spot's tough.
It is. I agree.
The NFC South though is kind of interesting because it's kind of like the Falcons are, as of right now, winning the division. The Bucs were my early season prediction to win.
Me too.
But now Mike Evans is going to be out a couple more weeks potentially.
Is he not coming back this following week after their bye?
I think so. He might be, but he's been missing the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin's out for the season.
That's such a tough blow.
It's tough, man. And I don't think their schedule gets too much easier, so I wonder if they'll actually make the playoffs or not. I'm gonna say they're gonna miss it. And I think the Falcons are gonna win that. The Falcons are a very fun team to watch. They've got a lot of good offensive pieces.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, Kirko. I think they're gonna continue to build the chemistry in that team. I think Kirk, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, Darnell Mooney has been incredible this season.
Which is so weird to see.
I know. He's been incredible this season.
Comeback player of the year, maybe?
Potentially. Maybe. I don't know. I think there's other people who could. But
for sure.
I think that's a name you definitely want to throw into that conversation because it's a career year for him. In Chicago, he wasn't doing much. They didn't do anything with him.
He didn't last.
He didn't last. I'm not going to say that's on the fields. I think that's probably more on the coaching.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he got a fresh opportunity in Atlanta, and I think he's been a huge piece. I think Atlanta's going to win that division. Again, I think the Vikings can make the playoffs too. They've been solid. They went undefeated for a couple weeks in the beginning of the season. Yep. Great success to start. I think they could be there, but again, it's tough. Sam Darnold, is he going to be the guy? To continue for the rest of the season. I think, obviously, after this season, they're going to go J.J. McCarthy. But
which is exciting to
think about. That is exciting to think about. But Kirk is definitely... I think going from Kirk to Sam is definitely a drop down or two.
Is it? From Kirk to Sam.
From Kirk to Sam.
Absolutely.
From Kirk to Sam. Well, yes. Sam's been incredible, though, this season, so not to knock on him, but...
also could be comeback player of the year, right?
Yeah, there. Sam, too. I think Sam deserves it even more. Yep. Sam, they doubted him. He was the third string on the 49ers at one point. The league gave up on him pretty much. And then he got an opportunity in Minnesota with the Vikings. Again, they kind of thought he was going to be the backup. He steps into this role after J.J. McCarthy goes down, and he's been incredible. He's leading them in the playoffs right now. They're the 5th seed. Again, that's another team I want to monitor. I do think the rest of the season, though, I think the Cardinals don't make the playoffs, even though they are the 4th seed.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the 49ers win that division, but the Bears are in the hunt right now. Nope. I don't think they're going to do it especially after this blowout. Well, not this blowout.
Against the Pats.
Especially after this bad performance against the Patriots. No, they fired their offensive coordinator after, Chicago's got a lot they got to figure out. They got to put talent around Caleb. Well, not even talent necessarily. They got to put a line around Caleb because the Patriots sacked Caleb
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
So, yeah.
You can't let your rookie quarterback get sacked 9 times. That's going to kill him.
Yep.
He's going to get hurt. You got to go in the draft and go get a lineman.
The talent's there. It's just that O-line is a mess right now. The team's a mess.
Yeah.
It's something we'll monitor and we'll come back to in a few more weeks because I think we were talking about how we want to see how this is going for a couple more weeks before we actually, dive into whether or not this Bears team is a playoff team, whether or not because I think there was like this rumor that vets were calling for
Caleb
see that. To be benched.
They said it was fake. Though. They said it was confirmed. One of the players today, I forget who it was, said it was fake. That the media fabricates lies
for sure
and likes to spread misinformation just to get a click. I mean, he could be lying. I don't think that's the case though. I think that team should be super excited about having Caleb Williams on that team. I don't think Caleb's the problem.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie, and look at the line. He got sacked 9 times again. Like how many times are I gonna say this? Like you got killed out there. Like it's not him. He can't throw the ball and make plays to guys like Rome, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, if he has no one to block for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
so yeah. I mean it's something we'll look at in a couple more weeks and we'll come back to. So yeah. I mean that playoff picture competitive. A couple more teams will slide in. But I'd like to move on to topic of is it time to move on from Aaron Rodgers? Now, I think he's under contract for another season if I'm not
season
wrong.
or 2, something like that.
Yeah, it could be 2. If it's 2, I don't even know what to think. But, like, what are we to make of this Jets team? I feel like, personally, the team has the pieces to be super competitive.
Absolutely.
Yet they're not, right? So they have this really good defense. And for the first half of the year was a top defense, could have been the best. You had pieces in, at the time, Garrett Wilson. You have Aaron Rodgers, who is debatably probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, he's up there.
Right, and you have this, it was a decent O-line. So you have and you have Breece Hall, who is an elite running back.
Yeah.
And here you are kind of middling, right? So you're not you're not a great team, you're not a bad team at the time. But you're kind of middling. You're below average for sure. And it's just confusing. Now, when I watch Aaron Rodgers, I don't see the eliteness to be completely honest.
Shell of who he was before.
Yeah, and maybe it's the injury, maybe it's the age, maybe it's both.
It could be, yeah.
Whatever it is it really something that the Jets want to keep going forward? And I think the short answer is no, to be completely honest. What do you think about that?
I'm going to go opposite on that. I'm going to say yes, you want to play out the Aaron Rodgers experience as much as you can for at least another year and a half, like the rest of the season, and then kind of go one more. See how it goes. I think from there, I mean, he's going to be 42, 43 at that point. Definitely, you got to cut ties there because at this pace, I don't see them necessarily going for a Super Bowl. But you never know. Again, you never know because it's Aaron Rodgers. They've got Devontae Adams now, and I think that's another big piece as to why you need to keep Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to keep Devontae Adams happy, you have to keep A-Rod there. Like, the whole reason, Devontae wanted to go to the Jets, which we kind of already knew. Like, he was going to get traded. It was just a matter of when. You know what I mean? Not if. It was when. When was he going to get traded to the Jets? Which he did.
Yep.
That's Aaron's guy. Like, that I think moving on from Aaron is going to cause more, more harm for that team than it is to keep him.
You've already committed.
I think you're committed. You have to keep going with it. You can't make the change, this offseason. You have to make it. You have to keep it the way it is. I think, again, they've got the offensive talent to definitely prove it. Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Tyler Conklin's a solid tight end.
Yeah, he's all right.
You've got pieces around you, like guys who can make plays. So, you got to keep them happy. Randall Cobb's on the team too. That's Aaron's guy.
Is he even doing anything right now? I don't think so. Lazard's on the team, by the way, too.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Not Cobb. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant Lazard.
I was gonna say.
I meant Lazard.
But
one of his guys. I think Cobb was on the team at one point. But Lazard, you've got incredible talent around you. And again, it might not be him, but the better question is it's coaching, because you look at Saleh. Saleh got fired this season. Saleh, fired prior to him getting fired. The Jets defense, they were 6 in EPA, 6 in success rate. Since then, they're dead last in EPA and they're 20th in success rate, and the offense hasn't been producing anything either.
It's weird because and I get it because Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded coach, so their defense was really good,
Right.
but you moved on from the guy because you weren't seeing success as a team. You were producing on the defensive front, right? And so obviously now this, the firing of Saleh brings all these defensive problems, and you're a worse team than before, even after you added Devontae Adams.
Right.
I still think the talent's there, but it's such a weird situation because if they're playing worse than they were before, you can chalk it up to it wasn't Saleh.
Yeah.
Some might say that, it could have been, or it was like maybe a chemistry thing within the locker room, stuff that we might not even know.
Right.
But the team is definitely worse off in the standings and just overall without Saleh. So it's a weird situation. I don't really get the firing.
I don't necessarily get the firing either. I just wonder if him and Aaron Rodgers were getting along, because after that one, I forget what the game it was.
The one weird interaction that they had
where Rodgers pushed him off. He's like, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
Like you have to wonder if it was Aaron that was kind of behind Saleh getting kicked to the curb.
Maybe. They denied that there was anything weird there.
They denied it, but they're not going to also go out and say it, though.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
They're not going to be like, I hated my coach. Like, mid-NFL season, if we want to come to the off-season, I think we might get better answers there, but no, it's weird. I don't think it's Rodgers' fault necessarily that they're playing bad. I don't think it's definitely not the receivers.
Nope.
The defense has been, statistically, like, they started off good, they've been bad. But I also don't want to throw the blame on Saleh, because they've just gotten worse since Saleh left. But
Agreed.
I don't know. I think it's just the Jets' curse. I just think the Jets are terrible.
And yeah, that's just how
it is. They just can never get things going. I don't get it, what it is with that organization. They're doomed. They've always been doomed. They just can't get anything clicking.
What I will say, and because I think we've kind of exhausted the whole Saleh thing, is speaking of the Jets, right? Let's move over to hockey in the hockey world and the standings here. The Winnipeg Jets, at this very moment, have made history, by the way, are 15-1. So this is the best start to an NHL season any team has ever recorded.
Yeah.
15-1.
Absolutely incredible.
And
who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
I would not have guessed that.
They are the same team that they are in past years, to be completely honest. They have Vezina Trophy, a Vezina Trophy finalist in Connor Hellebuyck, who is playing out of his mind right now. Huh?
Did he win it a few years ago?
I can't remember. I think so. Don't quote me on that. If he didn't, he definitely deserved it.
Yeah.
But he is the best in the world, to be completely honest.
He's incredible.
Their defense is pretty good. Josh Morrissey is playing out of his mind. And if we just pull up this link here for the Stat Muse, the whole team over the last two games beat the Stars 4-1, which is another elite team.
Yep.
And the Rangers 6-3. Which again, another elite team.
Shedeur can start that game too.
Shedeur started that game.
He put up 6 goals against one of the best goalies in the league.
Against Ottinger in Dallas, and it's
that's 2 incredible goalies right there.
This isn't a Mickey Mouse run. This is legit.
It's legit. They're legit proving to the league, like, watch out, like, we are here, like, we've got our stuff together, like, we're gonna be a force to reckon with. I wonder if they continue that pace for the rest of the season though. But that incredible start for them so far. I definitely think they will be at the top of the West for the rest of the
if they keep it this way.
I think if they keep it this way, I think they'll absolutely continue to be a force to reckon with and scary for the league. That's absolutely scary.
Few names on the list that are playing exceptionally well. I mentioned Josh Morrissey, and obviously their goalie, Connor Hellebuyck. Few more. Kyle Connor has 22 points in 16 games. Pretty good.
Good start.
I'd say pretty good. Scheifele's at 21 in 16 games. Ehlers is at 20 in 16. Neil Pionk is at 17 and 16. I feel like that name a couple years ago was actually like decent, but who would have seen him as a point per game player? Not me.
Not me.
Gabe Velarde, 14 and 16, and Cole Perfetti, who is I think it's his sophomore season. He is also playing like a top 6 player, top 6 winger. I think he's a center actually. But either way, he is playing out of his mind too. So this whole team is playing like they're legit.
Yep.
You know, there's not really anybody on the team that's kind of like causing a downfall. But this is what makes good teams, is that when everybody is playing as they should and to their actual level,
yep,
this is what you get. You
Absolutely.
get a team who is first in wins, first in points, obviously. Let's just see. First in goals, second in least goals allowed, right?
Yeah.
So, first in difference, first in power play percentage, 12th in penalty kill, but I mean, team is good.
Yeah.
So it does 6th in shots per game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. First in save percentage, but again, that's just Connor Hellebuck being Connor Hellebuck.
He's probably going to win the Vezina at this rate.
This team
Absolutely,
is good.
At this rate he would. Absolutely,
I would
at
say.
this rate he would.
But this team is good.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to continue to rave about how good this team is because it kind of kills me a little bit. Yeah. But also, speaking of good teams, we got the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah.
What do we think of them? Could they give the Jets a run for their money?
Absolutely. I think they definitely will give the Jets their run for their money. It's the same team. They're coming back. They're hungry. They want to go back-to-back again. But the NHL, like, it could be anyone's game, though. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the Panthers to win. I think they're definitely the front runners, but I think there's a lot of good teams that could make a run at the Cup.
Yep.
Like you said, the Jets. The Oilers are going to be right back there again. They're getting better. They're gonna have a click. You know, other teams like Lightning, they're gonna compete. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'd say the same for the Bruins. They might finish towards the top.
We'll see.
We'll see. We will see. You know, other team like Dallas, the Rangers. Like, there's just so many teams that could come up at the top and could win it. Colorado, Vegas. Like,
yep.
Again. Like, the league is deep. Like, there's a lot of teams that can make a run. I definitely think that Florida will be back at least to the Eastern Conference Finals.
They're playing just the same way. I mean, they lost. I mean, they're pretty much the same team. They kept, I'd say, like 85% of their great players, which is what you want to do if you're a team that has won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
They lost Brandon Montour, who was playing incredible last playoff run. He signed with the Kraken, and they lost Oliver Ekman-Larsson to the Maple Leafs. I don't think that's as much of a blow. Some other names like Ryan Lomberg and Kevin Stenlund. I mean, they suck to lose because they were playing good too, but I mean, this team has shown that they don't really need these, you know, bottom 6 players to still win games. They're top of the league as well. It's insane to see. I definitely think that they could win the Cup again. I don't want them to.
No, please no.
But, you know, this team is good. And they got Barkov, they got Kachuk, they got Sam Reinhart. These players are premier. They can win you a Stanley Cup again. And it sucks to say. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, other teams too that I forgot to mention, the Devils, they're, you know, start. The Hurricanes, they've been incredible the past couple of years. The Capitals, I mean, Ovi's chasing the record. You know?
What's he at right now?
Ovi is currently, man, let me check. Hold on, let me stat check that.
It's got to be, I think he's above, does he have more goals than he has games or less goals? Because it's right there. Is it 10?
10. That's 10. What it is. He has 10 goals
in 14?
In 14 games.
Woo! How old is this man? Is he 60 or something? Like,
it feels
might
like
be.
it.
It feels like it is
forever. Do you think he gets it this year?
Gets the record? Gets the goal record?
Do you think he gets the goal record this year?
At this pace, yes.
He is.
I mean, he's playing way better than he should be.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's just getting in the right place. But
I think that's part of it that we were talking about the other day is he, you know, just shot chasing, just shooting. You know, I don't watch Capitals games because, you know, I'm not a Capitals fan, but I wonder if Ovechkin's just taking any shot that he can just to see if one just goes in. And I mean, it's working so far. Like, he's scoring. The team has had success. Currently, they're 10-4-1, so, you know, they're solid. They're third in the Metropolitan.
Yep.
They're going to be a possible playoff team going there, especially if Ovi's playing at this pace right now.
They're really good this year.
They are, yeah. They still have got a lot of talent around that team. Currently, like I said, he's got 10 goals in 14 games, which paces him to break the record on February 25th. And after doing some research, you know who they play on February 25th is Wayne Gretzky's Oilers.
Take a look at this graphic. Take a look at this graphic because this is insane. On February 25th of 2025, against Wayne Gretzky's team, he does pass this record? Does he? Like, do you think he does?
It would be absolute cinema for him to be able to pass the record. But, unfortunately, again, at his age, do we see him pacing this amount of goals?
Especially all season.
I don't know. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. I think that would be really interesting to see him pass, especially on February 25th versus the Oilers. I mean, that's going to be very hard, for him to come up with that pace and then, break it that night. But anyways, I think it would be a really special moment to see it happen this season. If it doesn't happen this season, it's 1,000% happening next season.
Oh yeah.
He's not leaving the league.
He's not leaving.
He's not leaving until he gets it. It's not if when it's happening, it's when is he going to pass Gretzky's record.
Let's take a little prediction here. At what date do you think he passes it? Considering obviously everything about his age and just his skill level. I think it happens this year for sure.
I think it absolutely happens.
I think,
like I said, I think he's going to be shooting as much as he can. I think just to get the goal.
I'll play some early. Actually, we'll go late March. I'm going to go late March.
I like that. I like late March.
Yep.
Like another month after what that pace was.
Yep.
I think the pace does probably slow down a little bit. But again, you never know. He's pacing for 58 goals, which at that age is incredible.
Yeah.
Like he's incredible. But I agree with you. I don't think I like seeing that pace keeping up. I think late March. Late March, I think I could see that happening.
Come back to this clip in late March and see if we're right or wrong.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Again, I hope it's February 25th. I think that'd be great cinema. But I think realistically, at this pace, if he continues to play well, it's going to be late March. But again, we'll come back and we'll see how that goes at that point.
So let's get into our probably final topic here. And this one's juicy. Are the Chiefs getting lucky? Is what we got. I don't think there's a simple answer. There is a simple answer, actually. I don't know who am I kidding? Yes. They are. I mean, they're a good team. Let's not be biased at all. They're a good team. But there's been so many instances where they have barely come out with the win, scraped out a win, either due to a ref's help or just a stupid call or unluckiness by the other team. And just this Chiefs team could have lost 4 or 5 games.
Absolutely. I don't think they would have, but they could have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I wonder sometimes if, they're playing devil's magic here. I wonder if they sold their souls to, this.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know.
I mean, at this rate, let's go off of last week. Let's start more recently. The game-winning block versus the Broncos. Oh my God!
Dude, I don't even know what to think about it.
I want to pull up the clip just so everyone can see it.
Yeah, let's watch this.
So everyone can see it. But oh my God, what happened? What is going on with them?
We need to know the name of this tackle here because he's dude.
Look at
this form.
I missed it out, but you watch the form of that video. He gets pancaked. They push him on.
It's like he's doing squats in the gym or something as soon as he gets off the line, and anyone who has played football or watched football knows that this form is incorrect. Because
I don't know what he was doing, man. But anyways, the ball gets snapped.
Yep.
The kick was good. It looked like it was going to go in. He gets pancaked, falls flat on his back, and they have enough space to jump and block it. And the Chiefs get the luck. I'm not going to say it's lucky. It's deserved. You blocked the kick. But they come away with the win.
Yep.
That should have been a loss. They shouldn't be undefeated right now. But you want to go back. We'll go back a couple weeks ago when they played the Buccaneers.
Yep.
And they go to overtime. The Bucs keep it close in that game. They win the coin toss, which with the NFL, it's like if you win the coin toss, you pretty much almost win the game.
Especially if you got Pat Mahomes.
Especially when you have Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, exactly. I knew it was over the moment that coin toss went to
Absolutely. Baker knew it. You watch him in the clip and he said, all right, that's it pretty much. Like, we lost. Because Patrick Mahomes is going to go down the field and he's going to score a touchdown. They go down the field. 2nd and 5. Jawan Taylor clear as day. False start. Clear as day. Anyone could have made that call.
Yeah.
But the refs didn't make the call. Play goes on. Kelsey gets the reception to put him to the 2-yard line, and then it's just boom, easy punching right there for the game. Like, if they call the flag on that play, it sets them back another 10.
Maybe they settle for a field goal.
Maybe they end up setting. I mean, again, who never knows? They could pick up the first down and continue there.
Yeah.
Who knows? But maybe they settle for the field goal and in the end, and then maybe the Bucs go down the field and score. Who knows? Who knows what would happen? You could say all these what ifs, but
yep.
It was a huge play. It set them up to the 2-yard line because of a false start that the refs didn't see to call. But I don't know. The refs missed a huge one with that one. That was another lucky win for them. Well, they were realistically they were probably
they're the better team.
They were probably going to score. They were the better team in that game. They should have won that game.
This is a light example of them barely winning the game. There's other examples. We'll just mention the other two here. The pass interference call in week 2 against the Bengals.
Yeah.
During that play, it's just like Mahomes had to run out of the pocket and he had to like chuck one up to Rashee Rice, and it's like it could have been a caught ball. It also could have been a easily defended play, but the Bengals defender had to get a pass interference call. Set them up for a field goal. Butker kicks the easy field goal, and it's there's the game for the Chiefs. They were set up in their own zone. It's it was the 4th with 40 seconds left. Like, you can't be doing this. This is just stupid plays. Of course the Chiefs are getting lucky in this situation.
Right.
And then we go back to week 1. This might be even like the worst luck. Worst luck I've ever seen is Isaiah Likely's toe.
Like barely just getting out of bounds. That would have set them up to go to overtime. I mean, who knows? The Ravens may have gone for it on 2. They did it last season.
They had momentum.
They had the momentum. They absolutely could have. And the Ravens aren't afraid to go for 2-point conversion either. They did it last year. I don't think it worked, but they're not afraid to make those plays. Like, Harbaugh's not afraid to make those calls.
Yep.
And I would have liked the call there to do it because, I mean, again,
great.
as we go back against the Buccaneers, you get the coin toss, you win the coin toss, you go down the field, especially against Patrick Mahomes, they're going to score. So I wouldn't have hate that. Say if it was inbounds, the Ravens probably go for 2. Do they get it? Again, you never know. Or they could just go overtime, but who knows? Both. It was a really good week 1 game, but I don't know. Like, going back to it, I believe the Chiefs are definitely extremely lucky to be undefeated where they are. But they would have been at the top of the AFC anyways.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not like, some middle of the team, middle of the pack of the league team is undefeated. Like,
this is a good team.
It's a good
this
team.
Is obviously
win
a
the
good
games
team.
No matter what, but they're just getting help.
They are getting lucky.
They're getting help, and they're getting lucky. I don't know.
People in the comments might be like telling us to cry about it, but I mean, like, I honestly, we're just stating what literally happened.
Yeah.
And how they won these games. They were lucky. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
You want to know who's going to be the one to stop them, though?
Who?
Bryce Young. Watch out.
I don't know about
Bryce
that
Young, Panthers, they're pulling off the upset. The Devil's magic wipes out.
I don't know.
They pull off the upset.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a terrible take.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Bryce Young... Wouldn't that be funny though? Wouldn't of course the Chiefs, the first loss of their season, it wouldn't be against the Bengals.
It would be against the Panthers.
It wouldn't be against the Ravens. It wouldn't be against the Bucs. But you know who it would be? It would be the Bryce Young and the Panthers. Like, I don't know. It's just something. Again, we'll come back in a couple weeks and we'll see how that goes. But
anyway,
wouldn't that be funny though? Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, it would be. But anyway, let's get into our favorite segment of the night. And obviously, because this is episode 1, no one knows what our favorite segment of the night, but it's Fantasy Face-Off.
Yep.
Basically, how this works is Connor and I will go back and forth with a snake draft and pick our quarterback, our running back, our wide receiver, and our tight end of the week for fantasy football. And back and forth we'll go, and whoever scores more points for that week, like based on our team, it's just the winner of that week, and we'll get more into more fun punishments each week. Obviously not crazy punishments, but who knows? We'd be down to get creative, and we'll keep track of it over time and just see who has the better fantasy face-off record. But
right.
But let's get into this. I mean, I'll let you start because it was my idea to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and you can pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, or tight end first. It doesn't necessarily have to be a quarterback first. Like, this is snake draft.
Going into week 11, I think it's tough. There's so many good players.
I know.
It's hard to say who I want to go forward. I think, especially coming off after the week you did, I think the easiest choice has to be Jamar Chase.
I was gonna take that. I'm not gonna lie.
Incredible performance.
50.
I think after that, like, you have to start him. You know what I mean? I think you absolutely.
So is that your guy?
I'm gonna go Jamar Chase. I'm gonna go with him as for my first pick.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit more obscure here, in my because if no one knows what snake draft is, some people should. I get a pick and then I get to pick again, and then Connor gets to pick and pick again after that. So it's fair. I'll go running back here, and I'm gonna go with my guy Kenneth Walker. I forget what his matchup is, but I think it's pretty good this week. And I just got a lot of faith in the guy, so I'll go Kenneth Walker for my running back, and then I'm gonna take a tight end here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with George Kittle.
George Kittle.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. I like that. Where do I go from here, though?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Let me look at the schedule real quick, just to get an idea. So we doing QB, RB, wide receiver, tight end, kicker, defense?
No. Just the main four.
Just the main four. Okay. All right.
Why are you thinking about taking a defense here?
Hey, I had the defense in my mind that I would have picked, but we won't go there. Week 11. Give me. You know how I like here? Sorry, I'm just looking over this.
I think there's an obvious choice for quarterback at least.
I think quarterback is, but I think there's a lot of good quarterback matchups.
Of course there is.
I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara versus the Browns. I'm gonna go with my running back, Alvin.
Interesting.
Kamara.
I like that matchup.
Browns, not a great team. I think Kamara could potentially run all over them.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, you never know. I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara. He's been incredible this season. He hasn't taken a step down. I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara versus the Browns.
And then your second pick?
Oh, and then my second pick, I forgot because it's back to back.
Right.
Oof. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson versus the Titans. Titans, they haven't been healthy.
So you're picking two wide receivers.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. We're not going two receivers. We're going one. Okay, so I just need a QB or a tight end. My apologies. I'm thinking of how my fantasy team will be set up.
Hey, okay, it's fine.
That is my fault. So I need a quarterback, and I need a tight end. You already took Kittle. I'm gonna go Lamar. I'm gonna go Lamar versus the Steelers.
Take my guy. Okay.
I think the Steelers are an incredible defensive team, but I mean, again, like any other week, Lamar can turn it up. I think Lamar can run circles around them. They've been proving it the past couple of weeks. I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson here.
Fair. I am going to go. It's tough because I was gonna take Lamar, and it feels easy to take him just because he's a premier player. But hold on one second. I actually just want to look at who the Bengals matchup is because I'm considering Burrow.
They play the
Chargers. Nah, the Chargers D is actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to take Josh Allen. Okay. It's against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs' defense is actually pretty good. But, I mean, you can't really go wrong with Josh Allen.
Yep.
I feel like he's always going to give you a good week, and lately he's been better. So I'm going to go there. And then to round out my wide receiver, obviously, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. So to round up my team, I have Josh Allen at my quarterback spot. I have Kenneth Walker at my running back spot. I have Justin Jefferson at my wide receiver spot, and I have Kittle at my tight end spot. I'd say I ended up pretty well.
I like that. That's a good team.
Yeah.
For my last pick, though, for the tight end, I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. Chiefs-Bills game. I'm going to go Travis Kelce.
Ooh, okay.
You really can't go wrong with Travis Kelce. He's Mahomes' guy. It's a huge game for both teams. I think Kelce is going to see a lot of targets that game. I think Kelce is going to have a big game. So I'm going to go Travis Kelce with my tight end, which is going to put me with Lamar for my quarterback, Alvin Kamara for my running back, Jamar Chase is my receiver, and then Travis Kelce is the tight end. So I like that squad going into week 11.
Yep. I mean, we'll see how they do. I'm not really sure. And we'll see what punishments come of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's pretty much all we got for today's episode. I feel like we must be at like an hour right now. I feel like we've talked for a while.
I know, we've been talking for a while. This is a good episode.
It's a good episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy this content. If you're looking to see more stuff, we also have Instagram and TikTok. We're going to be posting more stuff on there, such as like parlays that we're making together.
Yep.
Games that we're going to play. Right after this, we're recording more game footage, so that stuff is coming to you soon. So if you want to see more Inside the Trailer stuff, then, give us a follow, give us a shout out, put us on your story. It's our first episode. We want to see some of this stuff.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Of course, but that's all we got. If you've enjoyed, then leave a like and a comment down below. But otherwise, we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See ya.